Hey everyone, welcome back to some new tales from the Callcenter. I hope you had a great day. The first story is called Sometimes You Should Just Listen. I work as a customer service rep at a smaller call center that sells discounted electronics. We deal in either damaged goods or older models. If you've bought from any clearance outlets or racks, you will probably be familiar with our no returns policy. We also have this policy if a customer makes an error or changes their mind. This story concerns a lady who has accidentally bought a new $1,000 bottled gas heater. There are two types of gas heaters, town gas and bottled gas, and the two aren't interchangeable. We highlight the difference clearly and suggest they call us when advertising products, but many people still get the two confused. This was the first call. Hi, I just set up my heater and it's coming up with an error. Sorry to hear that. Here's the manufacturer's number, please try some troubleshooting with them first, then give us a call back if you need more assistance. After that, the customer calls back. Hi, I think I spoke to you earlier. I have the heater company on the phone and they are telling me I have the incorrect model, I need the one for town gas. Yes, it looks like you bought the wrong model. Unfortunately, this was our last heater, and since you have already opened and installed the product, we can't offer a return. We can offer a restocking if you like. We will return the product and refund you all but 25%. The 25% covers our delivery fees as well as the fact we will be reselling the product at a much lower cost now it's out of the box and potentially damaged. Wow, that's over $200. I can see that this would be quite expensive for this case. I can lower the price to 15%, which is much lower than I'm usually approved to offer, but I understand that this was an honest mistake. 1 second, the lady from the heating company says that this is extremely expensive and she wouldn't pay for that. She says I should refuse your offer and seek remediation through the government's Consumer Affairs Department. Listen, I'm going to give you some personal input on this situation. The heating company lady doesn't know consumer policies. We legally don't have to take back your product if you didn't consult us before placing an order and you've made an error. The restocking is here to help you and we only charge for it to cover the large losses and paying our delivery drivers. If you choose to talk to Consumer Affairs, that's your right. But they have a long wait list and will tell you the same thing. By the time they reply, we can't offer to restock either because you would have had the product for several months. The choice is up to you, but I've already lowered the fee considerably and I think you should take the restocking. I think we'll let the Consumer Affairs decide. And with that, she hung up. Not only did the Consumer Affair deny her request, but she was stuck trying to sell an expensive type of bottle heater most people can't use. Personally, I will always do some simple Google research before buying a product over even $100. So I have little sympathy for customers who make these mistakes and don't seem to understand that this will cost a small business as well. The next story is called What I Actually Wanted to Say. I don't exactly work in a call center, but I do spend most of my day taking calls. My job is essentially to screen potential cases for a personal injury law firm. This is a relatively brief story of one of my favorite calls I've taken. Thanks for holding. How can I help you? Yeah, I need a lawyer. Okay, and what exactly do you need a lawyer for? I was in an accident. I'm sorry to hear about that. Can you tell me how the accident happened? Well, see, I have just given birth and I got a phone call from my sister. She said my baby's dad was breaking into my apartment and tearing up and stealing all my stuff while I was in the hospital. So I took my baby and went out of the hospital. I put the baby in the backseat and started racing across town to get to my apartment and I ran a red light and got hit. The company I work for only handles personal injury claims. Our company does, however, own a separate firm that represents criminal defense. At this point, I wasn't sure what type of representation she was actually seeking. Okay ma'am, so before we proceed, can you tell me what exactly you need representation for? I don't know, you tell me. Well, what our firm does is represent for bodily injury claims in accidents caused by a third party. Wait, so are you trying to say that just because I ran a red light, it's my fault I got hit? Since I am not a lawyer, I have to be extremely cautious in my wording so as not to provide any kind of specific legal advice. But I'm qualified to provide general legal advice. Well, generally speaking, yes. A person who runs a red light is typically considered to be at fault in the event of an accident. So even though they saw me coming and knew I wasn't gonna stop, it's still my fault? I didn't say that, but that is typically how it works. Okay, well, in that case, I'm gonna change my story. So what really happened was, ma'am, it's a criminal offense to make fraudulent claims against an insurance company. And as such, our firm will not be able to assist you in this matter. For further assistance, I advise you to contact the State Bar Association. Goodbye. The third story is called Shouldn't Be Able to Understand You. I had this lady on the phone while what I assume was her sister or friend also made comments loud enough so I could hear them. This particular lady wanted a courtesy adjustment of a bid of over $100 for an issue totally unrelated to us. It seems like a car had hit a pole and left her without electricity for a few days. She wanted us to give her a credit for the time she could not watch TV or use the internet. After explaining to her that since the issue was not caused by us, all I could give her was $25, she went crazy. Imagine getting the chance of getting $25 off your bill just for being a pain in the butt. She went crazy and started yelling and cursing me out while talking to her friend about how dumb I was. Ma'am, I truly need to ask you to stop using that kind of language and keep the line professional. I will be forced to drop the call if we can't keep the line clear. Oh, don't worry, you won't drop the line on me. I'm the customer and you cannot hang up on me. She proceeds to speak with her friend in Spanish about me. She says some crazy insulting stuff about me to her. What she didn't know, Spanish is my native language. Ma'am, I'm sorry to cut off your conversation. But just for the record, I can understand you and this will be my second and last warning to stop using profane language, else I will drop the line. You shouldn't be able to understand me, okay? It is not your job to understand what other people say in a different language. You are talking to Americans, okay? You should speak only English. I'm sorry, ma'am. It seems like I was educated to learn different languages and be respectful towards everyone, regardless of any language or cultural barrier. Are you calling me rude, you idiot? Now listen to me. This is the third time I've advised you to keep your language professional. Due to quality reasons, I will now drop this call. The lesson of the story is, just because someone potentially cannot understand you, that doesn't give you the right to insult them. Language is a tool for communication, not a tool to be a rotten tomato in life. The last story is called And All Over Just $3. My job is to answer the phone for people needing help exiting my company's garages at a university on the normally quiet third shift. Around 12:30 AM I get a call from a lady. I paid, but the gate won't go up to let me out. I check our system and see no charge processed at the gate she is calling from. I inform her of this and she insists up and down that she paid. So with nothing I can really do for her, I send out my one field guy to talk to her. I hear nothing for 30 minutes and figure it was dealt with until he calls me on the radio. Dispatch, she has taken the plates off of her vehicle and I think she's going to run through the gate. Can you call the university police department? So things just got interesting and I call the police department and send them that way. It's all quiet for the next hour and a half, just getting updates that the police are still talking to the woman until I get the final call. Dispatch, she is being arrested. Her grandfather is taking the car now, so we don't need to call a tow truck. I contain my curiosity and tell him to come to the office for an incident report where I can get the juicy details. So I present for you the juicy details. She started her whole spiel of paying to the field guy, but couldn't show any proof. She was asked when she came in and how much she paid. The rate she claimed she paid and the time she came in don't match up, so that's strike one. She then changed her story to her mom paid for her. Mom was nowhere to be seen and couldn't be contacted by the driver, strike two. She leaves the gate and parks in the garage and the field guy hangs out until she comes back to the gate. Once she is there again, he offers to fill out a form that will let her pay later or even dispute the charge if she wanted to. That was denied and she began FaceTiming some guy. That guy told her to take the plates off of her car, which was when PD was sent. Once there, the cops began trying to work with her to get her gone, and she kept on refusing and refusing. So the cops get to the point where they asked her for her ID, and she doesn't have one. The cops ask her if she just forgot it at home. No, I don't have a license. Yup, she admitted to the police that she was driving without a license. Her excuse was that the judge told her she could drive, which is not really how that works. Police continue talking to her and trying to resolve this and get her gone. But then the guy she was FaceTiming pulls up, gets out, sees cops, then drives away and parks down the street to watch. During this, the field guy watches as she hands her unpaid, supposedly already used parking ticket to an officer, thus turning her whole original story into a lie. The cops are getting more and more frustrated with her being completely uncooperative. When they asked her for permission to drive the vehicle out of the gate so someone can pick it up, she gets really defensive and weird about it. It is unknown who saw what or who told who what, but the police opened her passenger door and pulled a gun out of her car. My field guy was in his vehicle at this point, simply watching with his windows up. He rolled his window down as the lady got on the phone. On the phone, on speaker, was her lawyer, who told her and the cops in no uncertain terms that she was not legally allowed to be in possession of a firearm. Her excuse? The sheriff said I was allowed to have that. No, honey, he didn't. Despite all of this, the police were still simply willing to let her go and impound the vehicle and seize the firearm. You'd think she would take this, but nope. She was asked for over 30 minutes if her ride was anywhere close, and she refused to answer every time until the police just arrested her. At which point the FaceTime guy drives off. So instead of paying the $3 or taking any of the other literal get out of jail cards, she wasted 2 hours of everyone's time. And she is now looking at a $1,000 fine for driving without a license and up to 5 years in prison for firearm possession. And that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like, comment and subscribe if you are new here. Have a great day. Bye bye.